It's hard when, like, you already feel that you aren't allowed to spend the time on yourself,
Mhm.
and then someone who you love and adore comes in and says, "Yeah, we don't spend enough time together," and you're like, "Oh, crap, there I am. It's my failing." Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by the lovely Brie Tucker.
Why, hello, hello, everybody. How are you?
We are talking about things that you may need to replace for yourself today. This comes after, actually, I started with discussions from someone on our team, Christina, and she brought it up how, like, she always buys brand name stuff for her kids, and yet she's like rocking the drugstore makeup. And when we were talking about that in a team meeting, I'm like, Christina, I have a task for you. You need to go buy yourself a MAC lipstick. Like, you gotta go buy it, Christina. I don't know if she's done that yet, though, but it made me wonder how many other moms do this. Like, I do it for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. The thing that I don't necessarily buy name brand stuff for my kids, but I am definitely the queen of I have holes in my stuff, but if my kids' stuff gets messed up, they get new ones. But I just
Yeah.
deal with the holes.
Yeah, you just deal with it. I don't know where that comes from either, because 'cause I'd have that too. Like, I'll have holes in my socks for the longest time, and they'll be so ugly, and yet I keep putting them in the hamper, and they
Yeah.
keep coming out, and I'm like, "I'll wear the sock again." That's totally fine.
I holes in the socks, underwear falling apart. I've had yeah, holes in my shoes.
Mhm.
And I still will just keep rocking that stuff and or holes in my shirts too, like, I'm really yeah, in general, I guess I just it's like you know what? I've been seeing a lot of things on either Instagram or TikTok lately, I'm not sure which one, where it's like, behind every well put together teen is a mom who looks like she's homeless and disheveled. Like, that's
Yeah,
me.
pretty much,
Yeah,
pretty
I'm all
much.
like, now that I think about it, that's a good description.
I think we both may need to to do some work in this. So, in this episode, we have some tips for you on how you can start small, because we don't especially like mean for this to be a big project, because nothing works when you go at it big. Just some little small steps you could take to get you out of this mindset of not ever buying stuff for yourself and yet always buying stuff for your kids. So, with that, let's get on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom Podcast.
So I was thinking about this because I have bras where I was wearing this bra yesterday, and it's the only bra I could wear that was white and had like thin straps all the way down. Cause some bras I have, which look really, really cute, they're
Oh,
like
yeah.
lacy all the way up. And you can't wear those with like jumpsuits or like spaghetti straps.
Well, basically, you can't wear them in a Phoenix summer because, yeah, we're
No,
going for as little clothing as possible because people, today is 113. We're
I
breaking
know it's crazy
a record
today.
today.
And yet I was thinking today, like, I was outside, I'm like, "This is okay. I'm fine." But you know where I'm a baby? I'm a baby when I get in humidity. I'm like, "How could anyone work in this? How could you move? I can't do it any longer." That's where I get it. But, like, dry heat, I'm like, "Bring it on." Like, I am fine.
I am such a child about the heat, but you know that. Like, I
Yes.
hate the summers here. I cannot wait to leave the desert. One of these days I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I had this bra, and, like, the bra is actually discolored. Like, it's supposed to be white. It's, like, maybe a shade of blue because it's gotten washed with some laundry that it shouldn't have been.
Or maybe worn
It
with a new shirt. I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has holes in it because it's a lace bra in the back, and there's holes in it, and yet I still keep it and put it on all the time, and I'm like, "Why am I doing this?" Like, I it's not that we have a lack of funds. I could buy myself a new bra. Why is it still here? And yet every time my kids need something, like just this morning, my son, I don't feel is drinking enough water. And I'm like, let's get you a water bottle to make sure that you drink enough water. And automatically that water bottle is on its way to its house. I made that happen. It's just as easy to make a bra happen. Have I done it? No,
No,
nothing.
no, and let me ask, is a piece of that guilt of like, "Oh, I shouldn't be spending money on myself. Oh, I really need this? Like, we could
Yeah.
use the money on." And like you said, it's not for a lack of funds because there's a difference when you're in, and I understand it, and I think you do too. Like, we understand survival mode. Like, I
Yeah.
gotta pay these bills, I gotta have money for groceries. I don't have money to go buy a new bra or new shoes today. But there's a difference between that and, "Oh, but if I use the money to have us all go out to dinner, it'd be so much more fun, or to all go to the movies as opposed to getting me, functional shoes."
I don't
Like,
even, like, think that way with fat. I don't know what the thing is. Some of it is the time involved. Like, it's a
true.
time sink thing for me, and I feel like my time could be better used doing other things rather than buying myself a bra, apparently. I don't know, like, I don't know how
See
that logic goes in my head.
see that. There are plenty of things that I won't do because I don't wanna have to get up and go somewhere, but if I can get it on Amazon, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm real big on that these days.
But even, like, I just got my hair done, and I need more styling stuff, like, for the roots, because like, it's all about the product when you have pretty hair. It's not about, like, your hair just dried naturally this way. No, there's a ton of product in my hair. And so I got this stuff for the roots, and I was like, "I really want this other stuff she used." I'm like, "Oh, but do I really need it, Joanne? Aren't you being wasteful? Aren't you, like, spending money on things you don't need? There are other causes that you could donate to, and how dare you get
Yeah.
something for your hair rather than contributing to people who need it more."
Yeah,
It's
Bob,
complicated.
go shove it. That sounds like a Bob thought to me.
It is a Bob thought, but it's like, it's so complicated, these issues of money, because I don't know, like, how money was treated in your house growing up, but I mean, I wasn't allowed any brand name stuff ever.
Yeah, I think we had similar upbringings.
Mhm.
I've shared the stories of my, midnight madness shopping where my mom would get us like, we would go to the mall at, like, 11:30 PM for the
Mhm.
sale that happened twice a year at the Jones store called Midnight Madness, and that was the only time I was allowed to get, like, department store clothing. Everything else was, like, Kmart.
Yeah, oh,
Like, that was
Kmart.
our thing. We
Mhm.
loved Kmart.
Yeah, we did too. Kmart. Kmart, Target was more expensive. Kmart
We didn't
K
have Target. There was a Walmart. I can't remember if we went to Walmart. I distinctly remember getting clothes from Kmart, Sears,
Mhm.
and Sears, even though it was at the mall, wasn't really a mall place. And
Yeah,
yeah, like I see on our in our Facebook group, Liz is saying Mervyn's. Yeah, we didn't have that in the
Mervyn's.
Midwest.
Oh, Mervyn's all the time.
I think
Mhm.
Mervyn's is like owned by the same company as the Jones store, possibly because I get same vibes whenever I would go in. Mervyn's isn't around anymore, is it?
Nope, it's not around anymore.
Montgomery Ward, that was the
Montgomery
other
Ward.
one. We would go to
Yes.
Montgomery Ward's, we'd go to the J.C. Penney outlet, which was a state away. It was in Kansas, but we
Yeah.
would my mom would drive us out there before she would let us buy anything
Oh,
full
we
name
did
brand.
VF Factory Outlet in Tucson, Arizona. It was Vanity Fair Factory Outlet, like, shop there. I could never find clothes that fit. Like, I could not. I couldn't do anything. And it's so funny because, like, looking back on childhood, all of those cheap places that we went to, and I mean, it was out of necessity, but it's also like none of those clothes fit a body other than like a stick thin body. I could never find clothes that fit me well. Like, they were either way too short, like high waters for all of the pants because I'm a tall girl,
Mhm.
and, like, they don't really have very many tall sizes,
Yeah.
or, like, they're made for a stick thin person. I am not a stick thin person. I have hips. I have, like, everything. And so, like, I don't know, it's just made me really cognizant of, like, how I should be shopping. Like, and maybe this okay, so we're going deep. Ready? Ready to dig the hole? We're gonna dig the hole. We're gonna
Let's
dig the
dig.
hole.
Let's dig the hole.
Because all of these stores like Montgomery Ward's and Mervyn's at the time, we're talking 90s, they catered to a very specific body type. And so every time I went in there, I felt I was lacking. And the problem was me, and that I had to lose weight so that I could fit into clothing that wasn't even designed for my body. Stores are much better about that now. They're much
Yeah.
more inclusive. I mean, you walk into Target and you're like, "Whoa, that's not a stick thin mannequin right there. That's pretty awesome." But then, I mean, I could tie all my clothes shopping, I think, to body image issues I have or had. I feel like I've gotten through them a lot today. But that could be another reason why, if you're not buying yourself clothes, I mean, you found the one piece of clothing that you like and that fits. And why get rid of that and have to go on a search for this other piece of clothing that may not fit as well?
I think for me, legitimately, part of it is and see, and I'm gonna say something negative about myself, the laziness of it, of the whole,
Mm,
like you said, I gotta get together, I gotta, like, find time, and I gotta go, and then that means I gotta spend money, and, like, I have
mhm,
no problem dropping money for going out, doing a family excursion, that's totally fine, but, like and I see Liz, she's like, "Amazon makes it so easy," and you're right, even on
mhm.
Amazon, because I can buy it little by little, and I don't even realize how much I'm spending all at once,
That's how
but
they get you.
that is how they get you. It's
That's how they get you.
tricky little suckers,
Yep.
man.
It's how they get you. Well, we have some tips for you on how you can get out of this, tips that I'm using in my life, and will hopefully help you as well. And we'll get into those right after this.
Today's podcast is sponsored by MIDI Health. Hey guys, Bree here. I have two sisters. We're all within 5 years of each other, with me being the youngest at 44. Typically, when we get together, we sit there and chat about stuff like our hot flashes, or our raging mood swings, or our inability to sleep, which is making us pretty cranky. Yep, you have guessed it. We are all going through perimenopause and menopause together. And while I love doing things as a family, this is not one of them. I have to say though, lately I haven't had as much to vent about because I'm currently getting treated for my perimenopause symptoms. And I've got to say, it's been going fabulous. If you're experiencing things like night sweats or having trouble sleeping, sudden weight loss or libido changes, moodiness, anxiety, depression, or brain fog, all of these symptoms can be connected to the hormonal changes that happen around perimenopause and menopause that can start as early as 40. Stop pushing through it alone. There is help and it's easier to get than you might think. MIDI Health offers virtual, no rush visits with your clinician. Plus, you get email, messaging, and phone support for anything you have going on. The best thing is MIDI accepts most insurance coverage and has affordable cash payment options too. So schedule yourself a virtual visit to discuss your symptoms and health background in depth. You'll come out of the experience feeling heard and with a plan to start feeling better. With specialized insurance covered care, MIDI puts relief within reach for so many women more than ever before. You deserve to feel great. Book your virtual visit today at joinmidi.com. That's joinmidi.com. Support for today's episode comes from Honeylove. Honeylove has really revolutionized the bra game. Say goodbye to that uncomfortable underwire without sacrificing the lift that we so desperately need. For a limited time, you can get Honeylove on sale. Get 20% off your entire order with our exclusive link, honeylove.com/NGM. Support our show and check them out at honeylove.com/NGM. Now, let me tell you guys, I have found that as I've been getting older, that comfort and cuteness are not as easy to find when it comes to a bra. And I can honestly say that I have found that with my new crossover bra from Honeylove. It is so comfy and it gives me the lift that I desperately need as 44 years old with lovely triple D ladies. I honestly have had the hardest time trying to find a bra that doesn't feel like I'm wearing my grandma's bra. And this is it. Honeylove's best-selling crossover bra is extremely comfortable. It is going to be your new go-to bra. It's definitely mine. It gives me all the support of a traditional bra with an underwire without that uncomfortable underwire. Plus, the mesh gives it some little sexy touches. Like, I actually feel very cute when I'm wearing it. But it doesn't stop there. Honeylove also has really great shapewear, tanks, and leggings for everyday support. I recently found the perks of wearing shapewear. I know it took me a while to get there, but I've tried it and it was amazing. Over the past week, I had to go to a wedding and I tried the Superpowers short under a sundress. And oh my goodness. For once, I wasn't pulling at my skirt and I felt totally slimmed down with my tummy and my thighs. I have not felt this confident in a sundress in a very long time. What can I say? Honeylove has you covered for those everyday looks, workouts, weddings, everything. And it's definitely something that you need in your life and you have earned it. Honeylove is not just about supporting women, it's about empowering women. So treat yourself to the best bras on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/NGM. Use our exclusive link in the show notes to get 20% off. That's at honeylove.com/NGM, and you're going to find your perfect fit. After you purchase, they ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them you got sent by No Guilt Mom. Honeys, you deserve this. Be free of the pain and discomfort and keep the support with Honeylove.
Hey there, I'm Debbie Reber, the founder of Tilt Parenting and the author of the book Differently Wired. The mission of Tilt is to change the way neurodivergence, whether that's having a learning disability, having ADHD, being gifted, autistic, or some combination of all of the above, is perceived and experienced so differently wired kids and the parents like us raising them can truly thrive. On the Tilt Parenting podcast, I get to talk with authors, therapists, educators, and parenting experts who are committed to this mission. I ask the questions my listeners are most curious about when it comes to supporting our kids. And in turn, my guests share strategies for challenges, out-of-the-box ideas for navigating school, best practices for therapies, tips for advocating, and so many thoughtful insights on what it really takes to help our kids grow up feeling seen and respected so they can create awesome lives for themselves. I know that raising a differently wired kid can feel overwhelming and isolating, but I promise you, you are not alone, and it can feel so much better. If you're on this parenting journey, come listen to Tilt Parenting. Together, we can shift this paradigm and show up for our exceptional kids with hope, possibility, and joy.
So let's get into these tips about how we can get out of this mindset for never spending money on ourselves, never getting things for ourselves. And we're going to do it little by little. So the first thing is just to start real small, because you cannot go from never spending money to yourself to buying like a Gucci purse and making it feel okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's an
Yeah.
impossible thing to do. Like, you will always feel like you're gonna throw up for spending that amount of money on yourself, and it's funny because I always look at my husband when I think of these things about spending money on yourself, because he has no problem, man has no problem spending money on himself. He, like, watches these watch videos on YouTube for how they, like, take apart watches and put together the watches, and then he went and bought himself a very, very expensive watch. Like, no issue, and he's like, I love my watch. And he wears it all the time, and he has, like, a thing on his desk that actually keeps it, like, tuned and rotate like, it keeps rotating the watch, because if you keep rotating the watch, it won't lose time for some reason. I don't know. It just looks like a fancy thingamabob on his desk. But man has no problem spending money on himself,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Yeah. I would say, yeah. Yeah. Like both my ex-husband and my current husband have no problem spending money on something that they actually want. Like there's no guilt tied to that. So I
Mhm,
don't, and is it a girl thing? Is it that we were like told that we didn't have like I mean, I do know that from my
mhm.
first marriage, my ex earned like 2, 3 times as much as I did. And so if there was anything that I wanted, I pretty much had to ask him for it because yeah, my money went to daycare and bills. But and I definitely was given the message that I had to ask for it, that it was his money and that I wasn't worthy of it. So it's really
Yeah,
weird
that
when
sucks.
yeah, right? And so it's like really
Mhm.
weird my husband now is like, well, if you want it, go and get it. Like it's crazy. I will still and I'm laughing about it because you know my husband so well. You know Miguel. And I'll be like, my purse is falling apart. Like literally, like the straps are falling apart. And I'll be like, oh, I
Yeah,
need to get a new purse, but I don't really want to. And he's like, why not? You need a new
yeah.
purse. Your purse is falling apart. And I'm like, "But no, like, that's our money. We should be spending on other things." And he's like, "What else would we be spending it on?
What else you yes,
If
yes,
you
like,
need that, then we'll get that." He's like, "How many days a week do you use a purse?" And I'm like, "Every day." And he's like, "Sounds to me like it's kind of a necessity." And it's
yeah,
great, like,
he's
right?
not wrong.
When someone says that to you, sometimes you feel like you're crazy. Yeah, it's that money fear that we have going on that just, the
That
fear
many
that
fear and, like, I
yeah.
I would even say it's because, like, I feel like I don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And I almost have to work myself up to deserving bigger and bigger things. Like, obviously, my husband thinks he deserves this watch, and I'm worth the same as my husband, but I don't there's, like, a big block, and that is why you gotta start real, real small. And so there's a clothing brand online, it's called Undies. Have you heard of Undies? Have I talked about Undies?
Me undies, like M-E
Undies. Yeah,
undies.
like M-E Undies.
I don't
Okay.
think so. Let's talk. Let's share.
They are the softest underwear, like, it's the only underwear I wanna wear, and they're not that expensive, it's like $14 a pair, maybe, like, 14 to $20 a pair, but anyways, like, the last time I ordered from them, like, we lived in a different house, and that was my underwear supply there, like, 2, 3 years old, my underwear was, but MeUndies really held up for that. It was they're good, they're so good, and they're so soft, so I finally put in a MeUndies order, and when they came and I'm, like, wearing them and, uh, they're just amazingly comfortable, and you forget the little bit of, like, stress and agony that not having something good on your body, like, contributes to the whole body budget thing, because as soon as, like, you get the
Oh.
new stuff on and you're so comfy, you're like, "Oh, that was, like, some stressors that I didn't even know were affecting me, and yet now I feel real great."
I do know I feel like that when I feel confident in clothing. So, like,
Mhm.
I've been going through the lovely premenopausal stuff lately, and I've had a lot of, like, weight fluctuations, and it's not even, like, the normal weight fluctuations with me, which is where, like, the pounds just add on. They're adding on in weird spots, so they didn't used to add on at. So all of a
Mm.
sudden now, like, shorts that I used to have won't fit, and I'm like, "Ugh," and I hate shorts more than anything because I
I
have,
hate
like
shorts.
I feel
They're
right?
yeah.
I can't
No.
and like I had just said, like, Phoenix and that's probably why I hate Phoenix so much because I've never been a big fan of shorts, and you have no choice living out here. From May to November, you're wearing shorts. Like,
Mhm.
you have to. So anyway, like, the whole point of the story was my daughter wanted to go shopping the other day before we left to go on vacation. We ended up at Marshall's, and I convinced myself I was worthy of a $10 pair of shorts. And I felt so good on vacation with my new shorts that
Yes.
actually fit me and didn't have, like, a big 3-inch gap on the back where you could see my underwear or where it was too tight and it was cutting into my thighs. Like, I was
Mhm.
so happy. And then, like you said, like, I just had a lot more relaxation and patience and ability to handle things because I felt good.
It wears on you. It
Yeah.
totally wears on you. I would say you're definitely worth more than a $10 pair of shorts, but it's
But we
only
start
like
small, right? That's what we
you
just
start
said.
small.
Start
Ne
small.
Next time we're gonna go for maybe a $20 pair of shorts,
Well,
Bree, and then
actually, it
maybe we
sounds
go
like you and I need to go bra shopping, honestly,
I
because
do well,
mine are pretty old too.
I have an online shop I really, really love, and that's, like, the ultimate of laziness, but they
Well,
fit me real well. They fit me real well. Third Love.
oh, I've heard of that one. No, we talked
Mhm,
before, like, how I used to love going to Nordstrom's and do their shopping because, like, especially for bras, because you could go in and they would just you tell them what you want, and they shop it for you and
they
bring it to
do,
you.
yeah.
It was, like, so amazing, but now there's, like they closed the one by us, and now I have to drive a whole 25 minutes to another, and that's so far away.
It is really far away. It is really far away. So that's the first tip is to start small. The second tip is to start with something that needs upgrading, which really goes into the whole bra situation there.
Okay.
If you find that you have an item of clothing that is really not serving you, maybe you're a different size now. I mean, this is really the hardest thing, especially with
No.
clothing, because like I don't want to ever admit I'm a different size. Like I'll admit I'm a smaller size, but getting myself to admit that I'm a bigger size to myself is very difficult.
I
and
do Yeah, I find it really crazy when people are like, "How does that not fit you anymore?" You're like, "Well, I bought it 4 years ago. Does nobody change in size but me?"
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
Wear
everyone
elastic
changes in size.
waistbands for the rest of my life. I would prefer to have
Yeah.
some stuff that's fitted.
I I loved our interview with Amanda Tice, who's the
Mhm.
curves model, because she normalized like all of this stuff because she's gorgeous and yet she's like, "Yeah, I used to be like an 8, now I'm like a 14," and yet she's getting paid to model like
Exactly.
clothing and like her body is really celebrated and I'm like, that would be such a great frame of mind to switch to think your body is worth celebrating at all sizes. And it is. It's just me transitioning to that way of thinking is the hard thing right now. Cause I've gained like, I think I've gained 10 pounds now, but I've also like, there were some habits I had going. I was very stressed out the first part of this year. And I realized
You
that
don't
now I'm
say.
like, I'm calming down a little bit. I'm doing some restorative yoga, doing yin yoga, resting and relaxing versus pushing and pushing. And I'm finding that, like, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not having headaches anymore. Surprise, surprise. And my clothes are actually fitting looser, but I will not get back on that stupid scale. It just makes me feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like, it's ridiculous how much our I wanna come back to saying, like, that self-worth, like, how much
Mhm.
we have to justify that we are worth an equal part in our family that
Yes.
everybody else has. Like, I mean, heck, I will go to the store and I will buy my dog fancy dog treats, but I will not let myself buy the brand name Oreos. No, no.
It's true. I will get fancy antlers for Addie. And
Yep.
like, I'll be so happy seeing her chew out her fancy antler, but
Yeah.
I will buy myself nothing. Nothing. It's not even if I buy a generic version, it is nothing. And then, like, it's all that deprivation, 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 and then I buy myself something completely ridiculous because that's how, the brain works. If you deprive it.
What would be completely ridiculous of your
Oh,
example?
like
Give me an example. I'm putting you on the spot
$25,000
here.
mastermind.
Okay, no, no, that was
No.
business related.
That was business related. No, I mean, by ridiculous, I just mean, like, instead of, like, buying little treats for myself, I'll be like, "Let's go out to Froyo every night this week because I haven't given myself anything,"
Oh,
And I don't
yeah.
even like Froyo that much. Like, I always feel sick after eating it, and yet I go and buy it because I didn't have something better around the house.
I guess that's kind of me with coffee lately.
Yeah.
I've been like, because I wasn't letting myself go and get coffees, and I'm like, "This is freaking ridiculous. I work from home. There is
Mhm.
no reason that I can't go and get a coffee." But yet I had told myself like, "No, no, 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 you can't go get a coffee. You're too busy. You got a million other things to do." And it's like, I live within like 10 coffee shops that are all within 10
You do.
minutes of my
You
house.
have a lot around your
No,
house.
I know, and I just sit there and I'm all like, but it comes back to that same thought process that, like, I'm not worthy of it,
I'm not worthy of it, yeah.
but yeah,
The
Miguel's been
time
helping
thing.
me work on it.
Yeah, and it's the time thing too,
Yeah.
I think. The time thing bothers each of us. And we have one more tip for you, and we're gonna get into it right after this.
If you're a parent, I invite you to join us at the Mindful Mama podcast, where it's all about becoming a less irritable, more joyful parent. With sometimes hilarious and always thought-provoking experts and friends, at Mindful Mama, we know that you cannot give what you do not have. And when you have calm and peace within, then you can give it to your children. I'm Hunter Clark Fields, and I can't wait to see you there. Listen in to the Mindful Mama podcast.
Hey, are you a parent of a teenager? Are you feeling overwhelmed about how to be what they need while also holding limits and boundaries that keep them safe? Are you tired of conversations that negate how messy this season of parenting is? Well, I've got you. My name is Casey O'Rourke. I am a positive discipline trainer, parent coach, and the host of the Joyful Courage podcast. Every week, I come to you with an interview digging into tough topics with experts I trust and solo shows that go deep into the personal growth and mindset needed to raise teens in a way that grows them into confident, capable young people. I am not afraid of getting real about the intersection of conscious parenting and the teen years, while also bringing in vulnerability, humor, and lightness. I'm walking the path with you and honored to serve. Listen to Joyful Courage on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you consume podcasts.
Are you overwhelmed by the things that get in the way of you doing what you want to do? Are you looking for ways to simplify life to better align with your values? Do you want to create space in your schedule so you have room for more of the good stuff? Play, joy, relationships, gratitude, and more? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I invite you to check out Edit Your Life, a podcast to help you edit the unnecessary from your life so you have more room to enjoy the awesome. Through episodes with me, Christine Coe, and a range of super smart, compassionate, and thoughtful guests, you'll come away with big picture insights and practical ways to declutter your home, schedule, and mental space without getting bogged down by perfection. I have always believed that small moments and actions matter tremendously. My goal is to help you find agency and space in your life through doable baby steps that will leave you feeling accomplished instead of overwhelmed. Check out Edit Your Life wherever you enjoy your podcasts.
So originally when I wrote these tips, I was thinking it was a money issue. But from talking with you more and like talking myself, I think I've been able to actually like weed out what it is with me. And it seems to be more of a time issue than a money issue. Just the feeling like I don't want to spend the time trying to find something for myself. Like I don't feel like I'm worth the time. I feel
There
like
you
my
go.
energy is given better to other people. So it's not a money issue, it's a time issue and how I'm thinking about time.
Yeah, but it sounds like it comes back to that underlining factor, like what you said. I'm not worthy of the time.
I'm
I'm
not
not
worthy of
worthy of
the
the money.
time.
I'm not worthy of the time. I'm not worthy of any
Yeah.
well, I don't want to say anything because we know that we are worthy. We do know that we are worth things,
Mhm.
but it's so easy to go into that martyr thought process of that,
It
like, I'll
is.
just sacrifice it all, and that'll
Mhm.
make me a better person, and it don't work
Mhm.
that way. You still
It
have
doesn't.
bubbles in your panties.
Well, it's so difficult in terms of time and in terms of time to yourself
Yeah.
because like every single message you get, it feels like you should be spending time with others, even though you devote your entire life to others. And when you want to spend time with yourself, everyone gets like totally up in arms. And I don't even think they realize they're doing it. So, like, by the way, third tip was to change what you're saying to yourself. And I'd originally written that, you stop thinking of money like you're not worth it, but more money
Mhm.
being a tool. Like it's not something you earn or deserve. It's something that you use as a tool. If you have it, it's a tool like a screwdriver or a hammer and thinking about it that way. However, with the time thing, like there was something that happened with me where like my husband and I, go out to lunch every Wednesday. And this last lunch, he's like, we don't spend enough time together. And automatically I thought it was my fault. I was
Really?
like, yeah, I was like, "Oh, this is my fault." He's like, "Yeah, like" well, he mentioned, he's like, "Oh, when you come home, you go and, like, off to your bedroom to read." And I'm like, "Yeah, because you get home at 7:30 at night. I've had, like, the
Yeah.
kids all day and, like, everything." And he's like, "Well,
Touched out.
I
Done.
don't have the solution, but it's a problem." And I'm like, "I wouldn't even say it's a problem, but I would say it's, like it's just hard. It's hard when, like, you already feel that you aren't allowed to spend the time on yourself,
Mhm.
and then someone who you love and adore comes in and says, "Yeah, we don't spend enough time together." And you're like, "Oh, crap. There I am. It's my failing."
Okay,
Yeah.
right, and let me make this, crystal clear because every single one of us have been there.
Mhm.
You have had a long, busy day, and, like, so yours was the example of your husband, but what about when your kids do that to you? You're just like,
Mhm.
"It's been a long day, we have played together plenty, I had a long day at work, I cooked dinner, and we've done bath, it's time for bed, and we read your book," and your kid is like, "Can I just go on my story? I feel like I never get time with with
Uh-huh.
you." And then you're like,
Yeah.
great, I'm the worst parent in the whole wide world. I do suck.
Exactly.
And no, you don't suck. You don't suck.
No.
Like,
No.
oh, you
But
were
it's
so worthy that time. So
it's
worthy.
so
I want
hard
to
because it's
cry.
like, I know, it's
It's making
hard.
me emotional right now. I don't normally
Mhm.
get all emotional about this, but it's making me want to cry.
But
Oh,
because I
goodness.
think it hits at like a core issue in terms of women's time. People want all this time with us. We give all the time to other people. And look,
Yep.
Brie, you're making me cry. You're making me cry now. You see
I'm
it?
going to say, you look like
Try
you're
it.
getting ready to cry too. My gosh,
I'm
people need to be watching this.
I'm taking it back. But like it is such a core message that happens, and I think it's why so many women are hesitant to spend any time doing something for themselves is
Yeah.
because everybody comes back at them as like, we're not spending enough time together. And I like, I I don't know, like, do I say that to other people? I don't think I do. I think I'm very like aware of not ever trying to place the blame on others that it's not enough time. I would say something like, "Hey, I love you and let's think of something to do together." Or let's like plan this. Or we need like we do this all the time in our group of friends. We need a girls' night. When is everyone free? And that's a thing to be like, okay, yeah, there is an issue there. We don't get enough time together, but it's no one's fault. Let's just put it on the calendar. It's logistics, right?
Yeah.
But I think that when some people come to us, it's a matter of the way that we're approached and us always being problem solvers, women in general. We want to solve the issue for them. And so they're like, yeah, I don't spend enough time with you. And so what do? Okay, let's find something to do together. Let's go and see all these things. Okay, we want to do this thing. Okay, I'll go make the reservations. I'll go do the thing and we'll make it happen. But it's like, why is that our job? Why do people just get to come to us with problems and we put all the solutions on the table and make their lives completely easy for them?
I don't know, man. It's
I
bred into
know.
us.
Like,
No, but I don't want to say it's bred into us because if I say that, then it turns into something bigger that we have less control over. So like there are things we can do. You can so like actually, you know what? I'm going to start this out with like I'm putting out a challenge there to everybody listening to this episode. I want you to go into your room, your space somewhere, and I want you to find something that is worn down, broken, in need of repair that is just for you, that you have been
mhm.
putting off for whatever the reason. Whatever
Yeah.
the reason. And I challenge you to look at it and tell yourself, I'm worth more than this.
Yep. We're worth more
I'm
than that.
worth more than holy panties. I'm worth
And you're
more
worth
than torn
holy
socks.
panties. Now I'm thinking of like the Pope and the holy panties.
What? Is there a
I heard
Pope and
holy.
holy? Okay.
Holy, HOLY. I heard holy.
True. True. I can't get that. I'm all like,
So
wait a minute.
holy panties.
Did I missed something one time? I mean, I know I'm not Catholic,
Okay.
but okay. Yeah.
Okay, let me go off in the left field a little bit
Okay.
because we've been watching Jet Lag, which is a great show on YouTube. Great to watch as a family. Highly recommend. But they're doing Jet Lag Australia right now. And one of the challenges was to identify Australian slang. Australian slang for a Speedo. You know, guys, Speedo.
A
You want to
hammock?
hear what it is?
What?
No. It's called a budgie smuggler.
A G?
Budgie smuggler.
I'm gonna guess Budgie is a nickname for something. I'm
always-
gonna. Wow.
Funny.
I would have thought like a banana hammock, but
That's kind of what we called it in swim team. I feel so bad for the guys every time on swim team. Like I thought I was like self-conscious wearing my Speedo swimsuit, and then the guys had to come out and like nothing. I'm like, poor guys. It's pretty bad.
oh goodness gracious! Oh my god!
It's so funny. Budgie
Yeah.
smuggler. And we got you said holy panties, and automatically I'm in undergarment land again. There it
Well,
goes.
I was gonna say I could see where we got there. I could see how we got there for sure.
Yes.
For
But
sure.
we want to let you know that you are worth the time, you are worth the money, you are worth the energy. Take Bree's challenge. Go find something that needs replacing. I'm going to be replacing a bra, evidently, because that's really what needs replacing. And remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.